Welcome back, everyone. We've got lids and bits and bobs and doorknobs. It's another month of what kind of junk did I find? As you can probably tell, June was sort of a slim month, but to make it up to you, I will build something at the end of this video. Yeah, let's make something out of this crusty old vitamin tub. As always, I've got a variety of lids. Nothing overly special to see. This one in particular is interesting. It had this piece that I popped out, and this does comply with all the principles of cylindrical objects I like to find. It's got interesting detail inside. It's got these sloped sides, which you wouldn't see very often. So overall, kind of a cool piece. The rest of the lid's just filler, really. This one is for a Worcestershire sauce. It's just not your typical lid. Has interesting shapes, like these straight sides. There's even like a little vent in there almost, so that could be cool as an exhaust or an engine or something like that, which is kind of neat. And from the Worcestershire sauce that I purchased to replace that, I popped off this little lock tab, which has, I'm sure you can see that, it's got cool little ridges on it. Just a nice little piece. A couple more octagonal lids from hand cream and some Tabasco sauce. Tiny little lids, just less common to find something so small. And they actually have a little bit of inset detail in there, those little pits, whatever they're called. Whipped cream lid. I kind of think this could be like a drill, maybe, if the end had a little bit more accoutrement attached to it. And this is also from inside of the whipped cream. Could probably make a pretty good exhaust stack on something. Just a little less typical plastic shape. Same thing with this spray lid. Not sure what I would use that for, but interesting little thing. These are from inside of an old lamp I found in the trash. Just a cool round piece that has a nice amount of detail. You know that's what I like to find. Things with detail. Those little ridges end up working really well to represent something large and metallic. I was fortunate enough to come across several defunct spray bottles, which I disassembled. Some of them are broken, but inside we find some interesting little components. Little plastic tubes. This one's interesting because it actually has a little bit of grating in it and little flanged bits. I really like this one. It comes out of a spray product that we don't often use and therefore don't often run out of, but I have two of them. I think they're just like an awesome piston base or something. Just a lot of detail on this bad boy. And the shell or casing could be pretty good armor. So I haven't used them on anything yet, but these type of things definitely can give you some nice shapes for some formed armor. I know that these the trigger tabs are used as groin plates, and I've seen them even used on the legs of mechs made by Luca. I won't be able to pronounce his last name, but I'll put his name on the screen. Luca. Got these doorknobs. Obviously a lot of interesting mechanical stuff inside. I'm thinking I can probably pry and force these tabs to disassemble it a little bit more. Should we try it right now? Let's try it right now. I think it's working. Too far. I'm sure this is what you're all here for. Cool. That's a nice piece. Very nice. Anything else come free? Oh, it's all greasy. Nice. Plastic ring. Decent detail. This almost seems like a magic mind puzzle. Gotta manipulate the inside just the right way. Or just like pull it a lot. If you're a locksmith, I apologize. You're probably trembling with rage at how stupid I am. Or how mean I'm being to the inside of this mechanism. I'm a genius. There's a perfect slot there, and out everything comes. Cool. Well, not the lock. Okay, everything else. I'm sure this can be pried open, but awesome. Let's look at this stuff. Ooh, interesting looking piece of metal. Fascinating. Neato. Very cool. Okay, this is better than I thought. Ow. Okay, still worth it. That is a great piece. Even the core piece here is pretty interesting. Can this side be similarly? Yeah, this side can be pulled apart in the same way. I'll do that later. And then we get this. I can't believe I don't know what the thing on a door is called. Having a total mental lapse. The slidey tab thing. Hey, you can see me. I look a little bit blurry. The tab thing. But also a cool, bunch of cool stuff. I'm probably going to be able to take this apart too and break it down to some more interesting components. What else? Oh yeah, these plastic takeaway forks. Just have enough detail and interesting shape to the end of them, and they're perfectly straight. Some of the handles on plastic cutlery are tapered, which make them kind of useless. This could be perhaps a metal plank, or even the top of it. Like that could be the top of a miniature's shield. So, never throw anything away. Got some random scraps of stuff. Got this quote-unquote paper foam, which I think would make a good element of some sort of ruined sci-fi structure. Just sort of sunken into the earth. Build up some spackle on there or something just to give it a bit more of that concrete finish, but the form shape of it's pretty cool. This little thing, which I found in a parking lot, it just looks to me like a pre-weathered orc panel, which is pretty cool. Even has the little rivets. Something I wanted to point out, that bread tabs, even though plastic cement won't work on them, they are kind of a replacement for small sections of thin plastic card or styrene. So they can be used for a few different things. And actually the hook feature of them, the hook portion of them can be utilized to make, I don't know, like little power claws and stuff. So actually kind of a nifty everyday item. Just like drink can tabs, which you can see I'm still building my collection of. More on that later. I'm still drinking a certain amount of coffee, so building up my collection of coffee bag filters. Dark roast. And I think that's it. Okay, let's take this and make it respectable. So let's go switch mat. Okay, here we are. So let's build a bunker with a round door, aka a sci-fi hobbit hole. If you want to follow along, you need one old dumb bottle that you probably wouldn't use for anything else and is squishy and useless. Some sort of base. In this case, we'll use the Classical Recordable Media, a DVD-R. Slices or choppies. Even better, maybe. I don't know if we'll use it, but a saw. Clippies for cutting plastic. And then the most important tool in the world, glue gun, or the pistolet colleur. The older and messier, the better. Also super glue. Probably going to use the pin vise and drills. All of this stuff you can find on the links in the description if you'd like to support the channel via Amazon affiliates. Okay, let's get to work. First thing, most important, make this not look like this jar. So we'll take the most interesting angles, preserving these round corners, which would be difficult to model on our own, and this lid, which would be difficult to make from scratch. That's why we will repurpose this piece. I think we'll have it go like that. We'll slice the bottom off, use the top, making something, drop everything, and okay, let's get to it. Okay, time for a voiceover. When using an everyday item like this bottle, it's important to hide what the source object is, while still taking advantage of its interesting geometry. You can achieve this by slicing it up and rearranging the pieces. I sink the doorway into the bottle and also cut off a corner to imply different dimensions. In this case, I want to give the illusion of a fairly thick concrete wall. I make a quick base using 2 pieces of corrugated cardboard. Make sure the grain of the corrugation run perpendicular to each other to help avoid warping. I use the end of the hot glue gun to actually melt or stamp in some detail that we will later be able to paint up as rusty metal. This helps to further distinguish the final product from the original item. Even though we're using the shape of the object, the surface isn't great. I use 2 techniques to get a better surface texture for concrete. The first is PVA and mushy paper. Using a wet brush, I stipple the surface to make it a bit more grainy and uneven. The second method is spackle. Since this is essentially a form of plaster, it is fairly easy to make scale-appropriate concrete textures. Both of these approaches can be used to fill or cover gaps, and also to make a better surface for primer to adhere to. The base can be finished with some sand, and I add some into the damaged corner and onto the roof as well. My normal disclaimer is that I'm not the best painter in the world, and that's still true. I hit it with a gray primer to unify the surface, and then a white spray from above for some highlights. I use simple dry brushing and a few colored washes to get a quick aged concrete look. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed seeing this little build, along with my junk collection for the month. Feel free to like, share, and leave me a comment to let me know what item is the most interesting to you. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you are okay with listening to me talk about junk for 10 to 15 minutes, you'll probably really like my actual build videos. See you in the next one.